Good evening, Rockets fans. Today we're going to have a lot to talk about, but we're going to talk about Rockets versus the Mavericks, how that game broke down, great things that we saw, things that we could build off of. We're going to be talking about future opponents, our next game being up against the Miami Heat. But let's get right into it, y'all. First of all, I want to talk about Jabari Smith Jr. versus Paolo Banchero. Jabari Smith Jr. Sorry, I'm talking about Jabari Parker because his name is up on the news lately. But Jabari Smith Jr. is exactly what we need on this team. I don't feel that there would be enough basketball to go around if we were to be the ones to draft Paolo Banchero. I know he was a surprise going number one overall. Well, not a surprise anymore because his talent is showing itself. But on our team, and as much talent as we have on our team, I just don't think that there would be enough basketball to go around. We got the Jalen Greens of the world. We got the Amen Thompsons of the world. We got the Freds. We got the Şengüns of the world, who's our all-star. Like I said, I don't think that there would be enough basketball to go around when we have another talented player. Not that Jabari Smith Jr. isn't talented, but another ball stopper, so to speak. And Jabari fits our mold, fits our team to the T. And they're getting a generational talent over there in Orlando. Somebody that could have the franchise on their back. Somebody that could grow with the city. Hopefully he gets all the money that he's well deserving of with this next contract that's coming up. But again, I think that everybody went to the best team to build long term for their career. Paolo Banchero in the Orlando Magic jersey is definitely a good look for him. Jabari Smith Jr. in the Rockets jersey, definitely a good look for us. And then on top of that, he gets that chip on his shoulder that he likes to talk about so much. And, it goes to show every time that he plays against the Oklahoma City Thunder, every time he plays against the Orlando Magic. So it's a win-win if there ever was one before that we get to see. And again, that is no disrespect to Paolo Banchero. I'm sure that any team in the NBA would like to have him on their team because number 5, and again, that 5 is well-deserving, but number 5 in black and blue is a created player. And to all those guys that created players back in 2K and the NBA Live days, Paolo Banchero is like the perfect quote-unquote created player because it almost seemed like those guys ran 20, 40 pounds heavier than the prototypical basketball player that you would have, right? It would be those big men that are 6'7", 6'8", 6'9", and then they'd be skinny build. But then you got the Paolos of the world who looks like stocky, looks like almost like a 2D player in a 3D world. This dude's so big, it almost seems like he's not real. But again, he's a generational talent, and I'm sure everybody in Orlando would love to have him for 10, 15 plus years because he's well deserving of his number 1 selection overall. I'm sure he already went to the All-Star game and all the accolades that he gets. May he get his checks. Again, that 5 is well deserving on his back, man. Paolo is a hell of a player. But back to the game. I want to talk about Alperen Şengün. I want to shout him out with this play. He's using the backboard. I saw a couple of bank shots in a row. I'm starting to see that these guys are looking at the film and becoming students of the game, man. Shout out to the big fundamental, Tim Duncan. Basketball is a game of angles, and the Rockets are slowly growing into that mold. starting to understand there's other ways to put the ball in the basket. There's other ways to take the life out of opposing teams. And we're starting to grow, be the team, and fulfill our potential. And I love to see the growth every single night. Shout out to Alperen Sengun. Our all-star gets it. We're going to talk a little bit more about Alperen Sengun. But to this game was definitely an A-side game. We're going to talk about A-side versus B-side when it comes to the finesse player that is Alperen Sengun and his post moves. But in the third quarter, Fred VanVleet, nasty move by him here. Timely shots by the wily vet. Love to see the leadership that he brings. While he was out, we definitely needed him. We needed him in the rotation. We needed his knowledge, his coaching on the floor that he provides, championship experience, etc., etc., etc. But this was a nasty move. Those that know basketball got to see the play-by-play breakdown. You got to have the big man onto a guard and then him give the subtle move that he was going to drive to the basket, then pulling up for the three. It was nothing that the defender could do in that situation, and you just got to see him break down, and it was just like, it's like a magician almost with the sleight of hand, him able to break down the defender in that way, rise up for a three, forcing the other team to call a timeout. That was a triple. If we're going to compare it to baseball, that's a triple right there. Player of the game, Alperen Sengun. In this play, you're going to see a great utilization of ball movement. You got to see Alperen Sengun, again, going into depth when it comes to the A side versus the B side. A side is his finesse game, and understanding that the Orlando Magic have a lot of big men on their team, but the big men may not be as quick as Alperen Sengun. So there comes the A side, the finesse that he can provide to the Houston Rockets when it comes to superior post play, the quickness that he can use, athleticism that he can use, bring to the table, and also the B side of his game, which is power. So there's the power and the finesse. A side versus B side, it's like a CD almost. What game or what side do you want to listen to, correlating to what kind of game you're going to see from Alperen Sengun each particular night? Is it going to be an A-side type night, or is it going to be a B-side type night? Now, when we talk about the B-side, which is power play, I think that when we play against the Los Angeles Lakers, I know that the Los Angeles Lakers are very hot right now. They got Luka Doncic, who is a generational talent. They got LeBron James, who, in my opinion, is the greatest player to ever play, but he's older. They don't have a big man. And we're going to be playing them twice in the remaining games of the season. Also, we're going to be playing against the Denver Nuggets. Still goes to show whether or not that's going to be an A-side game or a B-side game, because we very closely match up. I think that they're the blueprint to what we can be with the Houston Rockets. But definitely we have to look at some Denver Nuggets film, see what they do, see what they like to do. They say that they're the Los Angeles Lakers daddy, but the Los Angeles Lakers seemingly have broken the code. Me personally, I don't think so. I think that the Denver Nuggets have a great they have a switch when they can turn it on, and they decide whether or not they want to play serious on any given night. The Los Angeles Lakers, I almost think that they turn the switch off because they know we can beat them at any point in time. So they don't play serious. This is not the same team that went up against Oklahoma City Thunder. Was it last week or the week before? So you got to be very mindful when you're playing the Denver Nuggets. Don't want to wake up the sleeping giant, the poking the bear, so to speak, but also understanding that you have to take everything that you see with a grain of salt, because the Los Angeles Lakers, they're playing with the purpose, they're playing with a fire, but understanding that it's regular season and that the games that we have at this very moment, they're critical, but they're not so important to the seasoned veterans. Oklahoma City Thunder, are they really going to be playing with that fire every single night when they're 12 games ahead, already clinched their division, and it's more than likely that they're going to have the number 1 seed in the West? Are they going to be playing with that same fire every single night for the remaining of the season? Denver Nuggets is another team. It doesn't really matter what seeding that they have, because they're able to turn on that switch on and off. They're able to go and decide, we're going to play all out or we're not going to play all out. Me personally, that's my opinion. I think the Denver Nuggets are the second best team in the West, regardless of standings. The Los Angeles Lakers, to get back to my point, their weakness is that they don't have a big man. And when we play the Los Angeles Lakers, we're going to be playing them twice. Same as the Denver Nuggets. We're going to be playing them twice over the remaining schedule of our season. I think that is perfect time for Alperen Sengun to practice the B side of his game, the power play of his game. We have to make sure that we punish teams that do not have a big every single time down the floor. When they double Alperen Sengun in the post, we need to get a great shot every time. Every time. Los Angeles Lakers are going to be critical when we play them, because if we play the right way, we can end up in the Western Conference Championship. If we play them the right way and the chips fall in our favor the way that I'm hoping that they do, we can very well end up in the Western Conference Finals. That's if the Los Angeles Lakers get this 3 seed and then the Denver Nuggets get the 4 seed and they play Oklahoma City in the second round. I'm hoping that it ends up to where it goes Oklahoma City Thunder 1, Houston Rockets 2, Los Angeles Lakers 3, Denver Nuggets 4. Denver Nuggets playing Oklahoma City in the second round, and the Houston Rockets playing the Los Angeles Lakers in the second round. And if we are able to make Luka Doncic, because everybody's saying that he's playing defense now all of a sudden, there's no way magically that he's gotten quicker laterally. There's no way magically a man that has not played defense in the NBA Finals, where nobody needs motivation, at a level in the NBA where nobody needs motivation, all of a sudden, magically, he's decided to play, since he's gotten traded from the Dallas Mavericks. He's decided to play defense. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm not watching enough Los Angeles Lakers basketball, but I don't believe it. There's a lot of Lakers fans out there, and it's like the Cowboys, if you want to compare it to football, where it's almost like they are, what's the word for it? They are like arrogant to a fault. They are bullish to a fault with their opinions, thinking that they're going to win the championship every single year, taking every single piece of every game and overblowing the reactions from it, blowing it out of water. Yes, the Los Angeles Lakers are a talented team. They got 2 generational talents on their team at the same time. That's great. But in the NBA, you will be, in the playoffs especially, you will be forced to play to your weaknesses. When the Houston Rockets are able to understand that, we can get very far in the playoffs. Maybe it's not this year. I don't anticipate it being this year. Houston Rockets, I would smile ear to ear if you were able to prove me wrong. I would want to see that. I would hope that y'all can show me that. Y'all have proven me wrong when y'all played the Boston Celtics and I said, can our role players play and travel well on the road? So you already did it once this year. I'm hoping that y'all are able to do it twice. And how you can do it is making teams play to their weaknesses. If Alperen Sengun is able to have a B-side game against the Los Angeles Lakers, because this is practice, these next 2 regular season games are practice for the future, for that second round matchup that I'm hoping that we get. You being able to utilize that B-side aspect of your game, the power play of your game, because nobody on the Los Angeles Lakers wants to play bully ball with you down on the post. Nobody wants to do that. They have maybe 1 or 2 big men, but once that person gets into foul trouble, it's open season for you in the post. It should be a 40-point night for you each and every night that you play the Lakers. They have no big man. We should be able to take advantage of it. And even when we decide that we want to play Houston Rockets basketball, which is getting everybody involved, there's no way that Luka Doncic is staying in front of Jalen Green. I don't care who says Luke is playing defense now. So I'm going to put the pressure on our Rockets. I'm hoping that the Lakers are listening to this For the Birds podcast, because what's for the birds is the overhype that the Lakers are getting, because me personally, I think small ball is a gimmick. It works well in the regular season, but it is not sustainable for the long haul and not able to get a championship if you have no big man. So take that to what y'all will. Hopefully, the Houston Rockets can utilize the B side of basketball, power play. But to get to the fourth quarter and back to our segment, I like to call this play, anything that you can do, I can do better. Shout out to Jalen Green with the nasty move here. Got to see Paolo Banchero with a vicious and one. Had a trick shot. Somewhere he tripped and was able to throw up a left-handed layup and it goes in. But then Jalen Green, who I've been calling to use that pump fake, gets it here. Doesn't get the and one, but nasty work by getting this guy Paolo Banchero to dang near jump out of the gym trying to block this shot, trying to defend Jalen Green. Jalen Green gets it, understands that basketball is a game of angles, as I said earlier, and also you're able to use people's overzealousness against them, being able to use the fundamentals of basketball, learning each and every game. I love to see it. 26 points by Jalen Green, plus or minus with a positive 19. Alperen Sengun, player of the game, as I said earlier, 22 points, 12 rebounds. Next game, we play against the Miami Heat. Welcome back, Amen Thompson. This is going to be a revenge game. Let's keep the streak going. I'm looking for Amen Thompson to have a big game. And Alperen Sengun, I'm hoping that you watch this video, man. A side versus B side. Which game are you going to have against the Miami Heat? But if you can have more B side games against the Los Angeles Lakers, they're going to be playing us twice in the upcoming games for the remaining of the season, and I'm sure that they're going to meet us in the second round if the chips are able to fall the way I see them falling. So, see you guys next game after the Miami Heat game. Alpha and Shangoon, please take my words to heart, man. A-side versus B-side. A-side is your game. But you will be a generational talent when you're able to do the A-side and the B-side at a high level. Peace.
I'm Trent is famous, ooh, I'm Trent is famous.